Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is BGFH, and I am back again for another partially accessible iOS game. I say partially accessible because you may be able to figure it out with some of the controls and stuff, but I found that there are some dialogue, like when you choose dialogue things, you can do that accessibly with VoiceOver, but some of the other interface elements unfortunately are not labeled, and it's really kind of hard to see what's going on. The game we are looking at today is called
Soul Trapper.
Soul
Double tap
Trapper.
to open.
This seems to be kind of a interactive story, like a choose your own adventure sort of a thing. Maybe a little bit deeper than that, because they do have like little, like, I don't know if I want to say mini games sort of a deal, but it's something like that, and you'll see once we start playing. Basically, you have these static backgrounds representing the scene of the game that you're in, and it has its own audio narration, which actually isn't half bad. I actually kind of like the main character. I like the artwork in it. And I don't know what the full story is. I've played through like maybe the first three scenes or so, and if I can, I'm going to try to start a new game. Basically, you're this guy who you almost think of it almost like a Ghostbuster sort of a thing, but there's these ghosts, and you're trying to trap them and from haunting places, and you're getting in trouble, and that kind of a thing. So let's just jump right into it.
Soul Trapper. Double tap to open. Soul Trapper.
Okay, so already we're getting some nice music.
Start game button. Resume button. Chapter select but options button.
Okay, so actually let's go under options. I haven't even looked under options.
Options. Headphone check button. Credits button. About button. Help button. Legal button. Volume control. Headphone check button.
Okay, so pretty straightforward. So all that stuff reads, like I said, mostly this stuff reads with VoiceOver.
Button. Dimmed.
The back button didn't,
Start
it just
game
said button. So it's weird. It's like we're really close, and this app could be made fully accessible, I think, very easily. There's a few sets of buttons that need to be labeled, and I probably will actually contact the game developer, and it wouldn't hurt, like I said, if you guys watch this video, go look them up they're probably on AppleViz, or just go look up Soul Trapper for iOS on their App Store page, find the developer, and like I said, contact them, because, let them know, it's like, hey, this app is actually really cool, but could you please maybe just make a couple of little tweaks that would actually make it work a little bit better? And then it would be perfect. So let's just start a game.
Start game button. Start game. Inside the barn.
Inside the barn.
Nowadays, when I hear someone say something like, "I've been through hell today," or "I have the job from hell," I gotta laugh. They don't know the first thing about being in hell. I do. I've been there and back. My journey was a hard road, but it began, oddly enough, in a barn owned by a horse rancher in the foothills off the 210 north.
I swear I've heard this narrator before. I swear I have.
All right. Hiding in the hayloft. Got it cornered. Give it up, Casper! You're all mine! Come on. That's the problem with ghosts. They can manipulate electromagnetic fields. Once the energy surges, the sparks start flying, and in an old barn like this, well, son of a... That's all I need. Gotta get this fire out fast. To my left is a water pump and an old wooden bucket. To my right is a ladder and some tools. In front of me is the hayloft. Behind me is the barn door.
Okay, so we are wanting to kill this ghost, but first,
Water pump.
so it does repeat.
To my right is a ladder.
Button.
Now there's four, in the upper part of the screen there are four buttons kind of in a cross or a T shape.
Button.
I'm going to hit the left button.
See if I can get enough water on these flames.
Inside the barn.
Nah, it's no use. The flames are climbing up the walls fast. Focus on the ghost, Kane. To my left is a water pump and an old
So the
wooden
problem
bucket.
is,
To my right
unless
is a
you
ladder
can
and some
see
tools.
visually,
In front of me is the hayloft. Behind
or
me is the
unless you
barn door.
explore by touch,
Button.
Maybe this ladder
you're
will
not
be
going to
through here.
know
Inside the
just
barn.
by flicking what
Ladder
these
weighs a
buttons are.
ton.
These are the buttons that need to be
To my
labeled,
left
and
is a
they're...
water pump and an old wooden bucket. To my right is a ladder and some tools. In front of me is the hayloft. Behind me is the barn door.
So let's go
Button.
up.
Hayloft.
Up I go.
So again, I'm cheating because I have to use
Soul Trap's picking up a presence.
the explore by
There,
touch.
in the corner. Dirty Harry had his .44 Magnum. Van Helsing had his crucifix and stake. I have the Soul Trap. It locks and loads on ghosts and lets me track and capture them. I need to aim the Soul Trap at a ghost long enough for it to lock on. Then I pull the trigger to suck it in and capture it.
And the ghost is kind enough for you to wait to describe the situation. No,
It's
sorry.
away from me. Gotta home in on it again.
All right.
Aim to the left.
Button.
Aim to the left.
Button.
And this part you have to be fast.
Aim to the left.
Button.
Fire!
Fire, top one.
Dim. Hayloft.
So again, if you were totally blind and couldn't see those buttons,
Got him.
it would be really hard for you to do that
Sirens.
quickly enough
Better get down from here fast.
for the game to
Way
work.
back down is behind me.
Okay,
Button.
let's get out.
Get down.
So this time there's only one button because I've done everything
Smoke
else.
is heavy. Gonna end up a strip of smoked bacon if I don't bolt. Now. To my left is a water pump and an old wooden bucket. To my right is a ladder and some tools. In front of me is the hayloft. Behind me is the
Button.
barn.
So we're going to go barn door. We're going to get out of this burning inferno.
Inside the barn.
Cop cars, so it's modern day.
Got out of there.
Well, he's already saying like Van Helsing, so he's making actual pop culture references.
It can't fall into the wrong hands. Rancher Rick is to my left. There's a well over to the right. Looks like the cavalry's coming from straight
No, I never
ahead.
talked to Rancher Rick.
Behind
Let's
me, the barn is a 4-alarm disaster.
let's talk to Rancher.
Button.
I didn't do this last
You
time.
captured the ghost?
I got it.
Outside the barn.
King Price. God bless you.
Sorry about the barn, Senor Camarillo.
That devil spirit made the flames. I know it. It has threatened me with fire before. You're sure I'm rid of its presence?
Well, I'm sure.
Then the barn is a small price to pay.
Sounds like the cops are coming with a fire department.
My wife, she doesn't trust you. She called the police, told them you were loco, that you burned our barn down.
Oh, just what I need. Another run-in with the law. Gotta act fast. I'd like to trust Rancher Rick with the Soul Trap. but I can't.
Actually,
I don't trust anyone. Rancher Rick is to my left. There's a well over to the right.
Button.
Looks like the cavalry. I thought
that
so.
guy, I wonder if he
Outside
played
the barn.
in
See the flashing lights. They're close. Fire trucks.
Codename Cygnus.
The cops. I'll drop the Soul Trap in this bucket and lower it halfway down the well.
I wonder if this is made by the same company. I'll have to look that up after this.
I'm a trigger-happy cop. Keep your mouth shut, Kane.
Because I think he was the guy that was on the radio.
Face down on the ground, now! Hey, let's teach this punk a lesson.
Yeah, go back and watch that accessible video if you haven't already. It's a cool audio drama.
Can't we all just get along?
All right, barn burner. You
I think he was on
to remain
Codename Cygnus.
silent. You have the right to an attorney. He will be appointed to you, but not by a barn.
I placed my one phone call to Dr. Ned Ross. Told him I was bruised and battered, but feeling well. Very well. Forrest Gump could have figured it out. Ned found the Soul Trap, bailed me out, and 4 hours later, we were back at my place. Home Sweet Home is a second-story, one-bedroom pigsty in the corner of Yucca and Coanga. What can I say? I'm cheap, and pretty classless. I'd rather spend what few bucks I have tooling up my ghost hunting gear than paying a wad on a more respectable crib. My ribs are killing me, and I can still taste that smoke.
So? I've been tasting smoke since I was younger than you. How old are you now?
27.
Started smoking my second year at Cal Poly. Hasn't done me any harm.
Ever try inhaling barn timbers?
36 years I've been smoking 3 packs a day. That's
Good
gotta equal
God.
2 bonds, kid.
Fine. You're the recipient of the Black
Walking
Lung Award.
chimney.
Can I make a speech?
How about saying something useful? Like, you'll take the soul trap if I get locked away.
Forget it, Kane. As long as you have it, I think we're safe. If I end up with it, someone will come after it.
You have to take it. You're the one who built it.
Technically, it was your father who built it. I just designed it. Well, aspects of it.
You know what I mean.
If you get locked up, I think we should just destroy it.
You're crazy. We'll make a decision later. Right now, I'm ready to rock. Get me inside.
Get on the gurney, wire yourself up, and get your noggin settled.
The soul trap isn't just a weapon. It's a means of communication. With Ned's help, I can project my consciousness, my soul.
Now, I'm
into
not
the
sure if
device.
I'm going to be able to do this with
It's a hell of a
voiceover
trick.
on,
You never know.
because this is a
what you're
weird
gonna find
timing-based
inside.
thing.
You're wired and ready. Take your mind to Alpha.
It's like having an acid trip inside a lucid dream. Sometimes, when my mind is racing, it takes hours. Sometimes a few minutes. It's a combination of meditation, Kriya breathing techniques, biofeedback, and prayer that puts my brain on a certain wavelength that lets my soul leave my body and travel deep into the soul trap.
Now, there are a couple buttons on the bottom that also are not accessible.
Button.
There's a map button and a menu button. The menu button's on the left, and I think it's a map button on the right. So,
Button.
yeah, I don't think I can do this with voiceover.
VoiceOver off.
You got it. Keep it up.
So it's slowing down. Oh, too early. So it's slowing down. Oops. Ugh. There we go. Now the problem I'm going to have is because of the way I'm directly recording this, when I turn voiceover on, it might go all
The more I
squirrely
do
on
it,
me.
the easier it gets. But every journey inside takes a real toll on my body. The room where I land was designed to look like the prototypical interrogation room. Some ghosts get intimidated in such a cold place. Some don't. Most ghosts refuse to leave the earthly realm for one reason or another. The soul trap lets me give them a shove. By throwing a lever, I open the door that banishes the spirit from the earthly realm to the afterlife. Ahead of me is the ghost. He looks like he's from the late 1800s. Behind me is my way out.
Okay.
Dad Bernard, what's this all about? Where in tarnation am I? You some kind of lawman?
Do I look like one?
You got me locked up in this here cold room. This metal furniture under this single light that's not even lit by a flame.
What should I talk to this guy about?
Alright, so I'm going to try this. Now, this won't happen if you're just playing the game. It's just that when voiceover goes
What
through
should I talk to this
the...
guy about?
Oh, wrong button. Hold on, let me do this again. When voiceover goes through my recording software, it goes really janky. Oh boy. So hopefully... Knock it off.
Ask why he haunts the ranch. Button.
So I
What should I
turned...
talk to this guy about?
Okay. So what I have to do then
External audio route.
There we go.
What should I talk to this guy?
Shut up.
Settings. Volume. Speech rate. Words. Characters.
So now, basically, I just had to
Talk to this guy about.
switch my audio destination a couple times for it to respond correctly again. When you're just playing this game, you won't have this problem. It's just my recording software.
Ask his name. Ask why he haunts the ranch. Button. Ask his name.
So let's
Button.
ask his name.
What should I tell
Ask
me your
his name. Dimmed.
Skeeter Jackson's the name. Gold
I just wanted to
Mines
show
is
you
the-
that the dialogue trees speak.
Can't believe I got taken in by a horn-swaggling pup like you.
So, you know,
Ask why he
so
haunts
far
the
the
ranch.
ghost
Button.
is
Ask why he
the
haunts the ranch. Dimmed.
cheesiest voice actor so
You
far.
spirit-spoiling sprout. I don't know what you're spouting on about.
Listen up, pal. For whatever reason, when you died, you didn't want to exit peacefully through your portal. So how would you like a nice shove? I have that power. So start spilling your beans.
All right, all right. The year was 1867. I was tin panning in the hills of Tahunga Canyon, near the Monte Cristo gold mine. I wasn't making a lick of progress.
Your stereotypical Old West old man.
One of those miners told me about a sure way to strike it rich.
Go on.
You had to light yourself some candles and summon up one of the devil's cohorts, a demon that goes by the name of Berith. For the cost of your soul, that old demon would turn worthless metal into pure gold. Well, I summoned me up that demon and gave him a hunk of iron pyrite the size of a bear skull.
Fool's gold.
Well, that fool's gold became real gold.
And you got rich.
That I did.
Enjoy your fortune?
Hell yeah. Until I blew it.
How?
Gambled away a lot of it. Made a lot of friendly women very wealthy. Drank an ocean of whiskey. Got swindled out of the rest of it.
Okay. Got more dialogue trees here.
Ask how he died. Button.
What should I talk to this guy about?
Ask why he hasn't moved. Ask how he died.
Yeah, let's ask how he died.
Ask how he died. Dimmed.
Got desperate for that which I pissed away. Tried to rob a bank, but botched it. Ended up shooting a deputy in cold blood. A posse of dad-burned lawmen tracked me down on the land where you trapped me. And hung me from an oak tree by where that barn stood.
Alrighty.
Ask why he hasn't moved on. Button.
So far,
Talk to this guy about.
Ask
Why
why
did
he
you
hasn't
refuse
moved
to
on.
move
Dimmed.
I'm afraid of that door made of light. I don't want to open it for fear of what's on the other side. Someone's waiting for me there. I know it.
so far it doesn't seem like there's been any
The
like
enemy is the ghost.
one choice or the other yet as far as dialogue.
Behind me. On the way out.
So I haven't really seen too many branching paths really yet, and that might happen later. I don't know.
Button.
All right, well, we'll trap him.
It was time to send Skeeter to the great beyond.
Inside the soul
I
trap.
was right about one thing. Someone was waiting for him on the other side of that door.
What do you plan to do there, Sheriff? Listen here, lawman. You turn me loose and I'll make you a fortune.
Not today. Happy trails, partner.
No, you can't.
All right then.
Fool's gold? Damn straight.
Okay.
Button.
Let's see what this says.
Nobody to talk to.
Inside the soul trap. Button.
Better get back to the
Inside the soul trap.
Okay, now we're exiting the soul trap. So this is like a weird, like it's not quite Ghostbusters because you have to go into the trap and like vanquish them inside of it or something, which is weird.
Accomplished. A tin panner. You just met a man who died over a century ago. Amazing. Freaking amazing. Who were the demons?
Barrett for sure. Turns metal to gold, and probably Valifor, if I had to guess.
I swear I've heard that guy
Hate
guy
to sound like an
before.
old grandma, but you better get some rest.
Your main
Your
character.
vital signs were spiking up and down the whole time.
I can rest later. I gotta prep for my trial.
What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I'd say I'm going to prison, dude. That's what I'm gonna do.
So, I finished this next
There I
scene,
was,
and I think we'll
in what had
finish this
become a
here,
familiar place, an
and then
LA
I will
County
wrap up the
courtroom.
video.
The trial was shorter than one of Kimbo Slice's fights on YouTube. My ever-optimistic public defender walked me through the paces.
Here's how it's gonna go down. You'll stand, the judge will sentence you, and you'll be led out in iron footwear and cuffs straight to county. Good luck, kid. And watch out in those showers.
Yeah, nice
Order in the
defendant
court.
lawyer there.
Kane Price, please rise.
I think that was a defendant
Before I
lawyer.
commence sentencing, is there anything you'd like to ask, Mr. Price?
Yes. Did Nickelback tickets go on sale this morning, or is it tomorrow?
I assure you this is not a joke, Mr. Price. Order in my court. Kane Price, I hereby sentence you to 2 years of supervised probation and community service. Court adjourned.
Your Honor, this is an outrage. As the DA on the case, I demand to know why he's being allowed to walk free.
I repeat, court adjourned. Mr. Price, I want to see you in my chambers immediately.
What do you know? Christmas comes early. Now what do I do? To my left is the prosecutor. Dude likes me about as much as he likes his yearly colonoscopy. To my right is my public defender, all 300 pounds of him. Ahead of me is Judge Dupree's chambers, and behind me is the door leading out into the hallway.
So I kind of like the guy's just sort of, sarcastic.
To my left is the prosecutor. Dude likes me about as much as he likes his yearly...
Yeah, let's go talk.
To my right...
So what do you have on the judge, punk?
L.
I got 8 by
A
10
county
walls
courtroom.
of him in bed, with the ghost of Anna Nicole Smith.
Go ahead, crack wise. I'll put you in LA County sooner or later. The skinheads and cell block deal crack you wise.
Nice play on words. See ya.
Yeah, I just like his
To my right is my
personality.
defender.
Okay.
Am I good or am I good?
L. A county courtroom.
The city probably pays off this tub of lard and cheesecakes.
All right. Well, let's
Ahead
go
of me
talk
is
to
Judge
ye
Dupree's
old
chambers,
judge real
and
quick.
Behind me is the door
Button.
leading out into the hallway. Better go see the judge.
L. A county courtroom.
You really did me a solid, Judge.
And you repay me by cracking wise in my courtroom. Dumb move, kid. You're lucky I didn't toss you in the slammer for 3 months for that.
My bad. I don't know why I did that.
You did it because by nature you're a smart little punk. Same as you were when I met you in juvie 10 years ago.
Listen, I appreciate everything you've done for me. You know that.
Cover your tracks better, kid. Remember, I'm the only person in this godforsaken city who actually believes your cockamamie stories. I put a lot of strings for you, but I can't keep protecting you. The next time you get busted, you're going away.
Okay. The next time I throw down on a violent, desperate ghost, I'll ask him to go light.
Just destroy the soul trap and get on with your life.
I can't do that.
That device is a curse. You can't beat what's not of this world.
I can try. I have to try.
Good luck, kid. Keep your nose clean. If I see you in this building again...
Ahead of me is the judge. Behind me is the door back to the courtroom.
All right.
Button.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Judge's chambers.
Back in the courtroom. Hope it's my last visit here. Ahead of me is Judge Dupree's chambers.
Let's
and
exit
behind me is
the courtroom.
hallway. I'm out of here.
L. A county courtroom.
A lousy day was about to get better. I noticed her standing in the back of the courtroom when I was awaiting the sentence. She was wearing white, and for a second, I had the notion that she might be an angel sent to tip the scales of justice my way. But my thoughts went from saintly to sinful as soon as she took a seat behind me. A Donna Karan suit and a Kate Spade bag to go with a nose stud and a yellow rose tat that revealed itself when she bent to retrieve her iPhone pouch from the floor. She was different.
Kane. Kane Price? Can I speak to you?
Sure you can speak to me. The way you look, I may even speak back.
Eva Katz, LA Times.
I don't need a subscription. I get my news online.
I'm a reporter.
No comment.
Listen, Kane, I'm on your side. I
Wise
wanna write about
choice.
you. Get your story out. I want to separate the myth from the truth. I want to help you clear your name.
I guess you didn't hear
Uh-huh.
me. So I'll repeat. No comment.
Look,
Good
here's
for
my
you,
card.
buddy.
All my digits are there. Home, work, cell. Give me a call. Anytime. Just think about it.
Watching her walk away was the highlight of my day. Maybe my year. She was smoking hot. If she were anything but a reporter, I'd have been chasing her like a puppy chasing his tail. But I couldn't afford publicity. Then or now. Looks like the elevator is straight down the hall. The courtroom is behind me.
So again, aside from these unlabeled buttons, if they would just label
Better
these,
get home. Hey,
Courthouse hallway.
so far this game would really pretty much work. The only one that would be a little bit tricky is
back
that
in my apartment.
timing-based
Even by my
one.
low standards, this is a sorry dump. To my left is the door. To my right is my desk with my phone and Mac. Straight ahead is my Ivor unit, my interdimensional voice recorder. I built it myself, out of magnets, steel coils, and crystals. Believe it or not, it lets me communicate with a spirit named Carl. I have no idea who or what Carl is, or why he can communicate with me, but he usually offers good advice. He's kind of like my supernatural Google. The Ivor's not working right now. It fried a crystal. Behind me is my bedroom. That's where I keep the soul trap hidden.
And with
Audio
that
games.
mysterious
Heading. Text
phone
field.
call,
Double
we are
tapping
going
holds
to
a
stop
target mode.
this game and wrap up this video. But there you go. That is Soul Trapper. I like the tone of it. I mean, it seems like a really neat way to do kind of a, like I said, choose your own adventure style. It's almost kind of reminds me of like a choose your own adventure plus a little bit of, I wouldn't say a graphic novel, but just a little colorful backgrounds that they put in. I like the backgrounds that they use. And then, a couple of little very light, maybe mini games. You tap a button. You have the one where you aim quickly, and then you had the one where you have to hit the button in sync with the heartbeat. That one, I don't know how you would do that rhythmically with... I guess you could, because there are other games like... I can leave VoiceOver running while I play some of the something else games, like Audio Defense, which is fantastic, by the way. If you haven't played that game, I highly recommend watching the video that I did for that, and I highly, highly recommend playing that game before it stops working, like on a future version of iOS, because I just rediscovered that game earlier this week and have been playing it again, and it is super fun. Definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, audio games for iOS. But getting back to Soul Trapper, like I said, the reason I brought up Audio Defense is because you can leave VoiceOver on and you can still tap, your different buttons on the screen, or you can still, do your swipe up to switch weapons, your swipe down to reload, different things. So you can kind of still have VoiceOver running in the background, but the app can still use some of its own gestures. I'm not a coder, especially an iOS coder, so I don't really know, what the mechanics are to make that work. But I could see that, even something like that little heartbeat mini game, I could see that maybe being able to I could see it being able to be working. So, yeah, I said, unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to label this as a low vision spotlight video. I may put it under both, just with some caveats. Again, for the buttons, the only way, there doesn't seem to be a real fail state, so I think if you are a good phone user and you know VoiceOver well,
Closing audio games folder, game services folder.
and if you are good at Explore by Touch, you could play this. You would just have to know where the buttons are. When it says to the left is this, to the right or behind me is this. You'd have to kind of learn, and when he says ahead of me and behind me. Ahead is always at the top of the screen, and then behind is, below that icon. So the buttons do move around a little bit depending on the situation and depending on the scene. So again, it's not super consistent, but if you really wanted to see the story, and if you experience the story, if you really wanted to do that, but you had no usable vision or very little usable vision, I'm not going to say it's not possible. But with some of those unlabeled buttons, some of it could be really tricky. It reads the voice dialogue choices perfectly fine, so that's good. But yeah, I'll leave it for you guys to kind of, based on what I showed you, and I can't remember if it's a free or a costs a buck or two to play. But like I said, I mean, the production values seem pretty decent. And I swear I've heard that voice actor before, your main character. He might have been the guy in I think it was one of your contacts in Codename Cygnus, but it maybe not. Nevertheless, the guy sounds familiar to me anyway. But yeah, I'll leave it kind of for you guys up to decide as to how accessible it is. Like I said, I will probably contact the developer. I would encourage you to also send off a message to them to say, hey, this actually looks like something I would really want to play. And I don't know what other games this company has developed. Maybe they have other similar titles like this. And if they do, they would also be something that I think a lot of people would be willing to try.
Double tap to
But again, we just got to let these developers know that, hey, we are a viable market. We will buy your games if you just kind of tweak them. I mean, the game is really close as it is. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, the main thing that is like, if they just made some of the buttons, gave them labels, I think the game would be pretty much, 99% accessible. So there you go. Yeah, that is Soul Trapper, available for iOS right now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, and until next time, I will talk to you guys again later.